That is because of the basically the rotation that we've been seeing on radar. In fact, let's take a quick look at the loop here so you can see the general trend of the storm through far northern Illinois, south of Highway 81. So if you're basically from Beloit westward along Highway 81, Highway 11, just south of Highway 11, you need to go to a safe place immediately. If we look at the wind velocity, we're starting to see a little bit of a circulation right here. So that's just south of the Wisconsin-Illinois state line around Sherland, that area lifting toward the northeast at about 25 miles per hour. Let's come back here and I'll do a quick storm track on this just to give you an idea of where the storm is heading. Let's see, right now we'll put it this way here. So at about 25 miles per hour, you can see that storm heading basically in the rural area, far southwestern portion of Rock County to the west of Beloit, south of Footville. This is the area most at risk. Again, tornado warning in effect for the southwestern portion of Rock County, and we'll get a time on that here. Let me just clear this off the screen. That tornado warning in effect until 7 p.m. I think the threat's going to be short-lived, though. The storm is moving pretty quickly, or at least at about 25 to 30 miles per hour. Right now, the wind circulation, you can see it's becoming a little more diffuse. This is right around Sherland here, just south of the Wisconsin-Illinois state line. So that's where the circulation is. If there is a tornado, it's there. Looking at, I'm going to take a look real quickly at the debris signature just to see whether or not there's any debris being lofted up, and I doubt that's going to be the case. So here's the debris signature. We're not seeing anything right now that draws some concern, but there's enough of a wind circulation that there could be at least a brief touchdown of a tornado somewhere near the Wisconsin-Illinois state line, just south of Highway 81 right now. So again, that area, southern portions of Rock County, you're under a tornado warning effective until 7 p.m. If you are in the southern portion of Rock County, southwestern portion of Rock County, you need to go to a safe place immediately. So if you are at home, go to the center part of your basement. That's the best place to go. If you don't have a basement, an interior room or closet on the lowest floor of your house, keep as far away from the outside walls and windows as possible. Cover yourself with pillows, cushions, blankets, something to protect yourself from flying debris if your dwelling should be hit by the tornado. And then get out of mobile homes. Those are unsafe places, so if you have some time, find a sturdy building nearby. That's the best place to go. Again, hopefully this is not going to last very long. But again, we are interrupting program right now. We do have a tornado warning in effect until 7 p.m. This is for the southwestern portion of Rock County. This storm could be producing a little bit of hail and also could be producing some strong winds. But if we go and we take a look at the movement of the storm, again, it's in a northeasterly direction, about 25 miles per hour. The wind circulation really starting to weaken now. We're looking for our greens and reds that are close together, indicating winds blowing toward or away from the radar, the Sullivan radar. You can see that radar beam coming in from the northeast, and we're just not seeing a lot of that there. So I'm looking to see whether or not we get any indication from the National Weather Service if they're going to continue this warning. But right now we do have a tornado warning in effect for the southwestern portion of Rock County until 7 p.m. Radar indicates a potential for a tornado just south of the Wisconsin-Illinois state line, just north of Sherland, Illinois now, that heading to the northeast. This is, right here is Highway 51 from Beloit northward. So again, if you're west of Highway 51, if you're south of Highway 11, from south of Janesville over toward Broadhead, that's the area most concerned right now. Tornado warning in effect for the southwestern portion of Rock County. Again, we'll go back and take a look at the movement of this storm system right now. Try to put this into motion here. Let's put the radar into motion. So there it is. You can see the storm holding together pretty well. There's not even a lot of lightning associated with it. The wind circulation really has died down. Tornado debris circulation, not looking at anything there, as far as any debris being lofted in the air. So that's good news. If we take a look at a little wider radar perspective here across southern Wisconsin, you can see how the cell has developed just across northern Illinois, lifting to the northeast. There's a warm front actually right just south of the Wisconsin-Illinois state line, right along the state line. That's an area where we most likely would be looking at the potential for any kind of wind circulation, and that is going to be right along the Wisconsin-Illinois state line. Now, it's possible there could be other thunderstorms that develop. The Storm Prediction Center did have a marginal risk of severe thunderstorms over southern Wisconsin. If we take a look at future radar, you can see how these storms basically just kind of, pop up and just kind of drift toward the northeast. This is over the next 3 hours, so you can see how those storms might become a little more concentrated west of Madison, at least for rain potential, and maybe some lightning or thunder. The severe weather potential, if we have it, is going to stay very close to the Wisconsin-Illinois state line. And again, we're interrupting program for a tornado warning for the southern portion of Rock County. That's until 7 p.m. It's actually an extension of a warning that the National Weather Service in Chicago issued for northern Winnebago County, just south of the Wisconsin-Illinois state line. This storm now lifting very close to the state line itself. We'll take a look again with the radar loop. The storm lifting toward the northeast, and as far as the wind circulation, if there is one, right now I would place it near the Wisconsin-Illinois state line, just south of Highway 81. Let's zoom into that area a little bit more so you can get a little better idea of exactly who is in the path of that storm. So that's just to the south of Newark. There's Highway 81. Again, the tornado warning for just a small portion of southern portion of Rock County. Again, tornado warning in effect until 7 p.m. Just looking to see if we're getting any additional information from the National Weather Service. I have not seen anything. Let me just see here. I'm going to call this up just so that we have the ability to see if there's any new information. I'd be very surprised if this tornado warning goes until the expiration at 7 p.m. That's why we're right now continuing to break into programming, because we do have an active tornado warning. Again, this is just I'm looking at the latest information from the National Weather Service. I'm not seeing there. Certainly, there's no surface reports from weather spotters or anything of a tornado. That's good news. We haven't been seeing anything, at least as far as debris being lofted in the air from the radar. So that's good news. The storm seems to be weakening. So I've got the National Weather Service up here to see whether or not they're going to continue with this warning. But again, right now, latest thing is we have a tornado warning in effect until 7 p.m. Again, that is for the southwestern portion of Rock County, west of Beloit, south of Brodhead. If you're in this area here, southeast of Brodhead, south of Football, so here's Highway 11 to the west of Janesville. If you're in that area, you need to take cover immediately, because we do have a tornado warning for the southwestern portion of Rock County. Quick look at the wind velocity. Might be a little bit of a wind circulation here, very hard to tell, but it's not very strong at this point. So we're continuing to watch from the National Weather Service to see whether or not they're going to continue with this warning, but we are going to stay on the air here, at least for the time being, until we find out whether or not, number one, whether there's been any kind of a tornado being confirmed at the ground, which so far we've not had any indication of that. But the National Weather Service, again, thinks there's a high enough probability that this storm could at least produce a brief tornado, and so a tornado warning in effect until 7 p.m. for the southwestern portion of Rock County, west of Beloit, and south of Footville, right along Highway 81 there. This is Highway 213 from Beloit, so that's kind of the northern edge right now of the tornado-warned area. Continuing to see the other thing that we do watch is the temperatures. Janesville has a temperature of 70 degrees. They've actually been able to get into the warm air sector where the atmosphere is a little bit more unstable there. The farther north you get toward Madison, temperatures are only around 60 degrees. So the severe weather threat is much smaller the farther north you go. And again, with this cell continuing to lift northeastward, right now maybe a minor wind circulation right along the Wisconsin-Illinois state line. And so I'm going to keep it here for just a little while longer. The warning goes until 7 o'clock. I mean, to be honest, I'm just not seeing much in the way of anything, at least as far as anything that really would concern me about the potential for a tornado or even damage. This is what we're looking at. This is tornado debris indication. And what we're looking for is in this area of red here, which is basically the radar looking at the objects that are coming back. All the objects kind of look the same, meaning it's looking at rain. If it sees other colors within this red area here, that would indicate debris. The more blue that you see over there, that's an indication that other things are being lofted in the air, maybe hail, maybe some debris. We're just not seeing that there. So again, that's a good sign. Latest velocity update. again, not really even seeing much of a wind circulation there. The storm itself, and it looks like, let's see if what the Weather Service is planning on doing here. I just saw it looked like, we'll go back here for a minute. So, yeah, they continue the tornado warning. Again, that warning in effect until 7 p.m. We'll go back here to show you where the warning area is. Let's do a quick storm track on this. This should show you who is in the path of the storm. And let me just put this here for a second so I can do a quick update on the actual storm track. So again, this storm lifting toward the north or northeast at about 25 miles per hour. This is kind of the projected path right now. So that would take it basically near the Southern Wisconsin Regional Airport by just after 7 p.m. I would be very surprised if the warning even extends that long, because this cell has been weakening, not seeing much in the way of wind circulation. Just waiting to see if the National Weather Service decides that they want to continue with this warning or not. I'm just going to save this here and go back a frame. So again, tornado warning, southwestern portion of Rock County till 7 p.m. That's why we're on the air here. The storm, if there is a tornado or possible tornado, it's near the Wisconsin-Illinois state line, right along Highway 81 now, lifting to the northeast toward Highway 213. So this is Beloit. So between Beloit and, say, Broadhead, that's the area most at risk. And again, you can see the general movement of these storms. There's other storms developing farther to the south. There's just not a lot of lightning there, though. So that's a good indication. Let me just make sure that we're seeing the lightning on here. But you can see just every once in a while there'll be a flash of lightning. So these storms basically just have a lot of rotation in the lowest part of the storm, just because the storm itself is crossing a warm front, and so that's something that we just have to keep an eye on. But right now, we're not seeing anything right now that concerns me, at least as far as an imminent tornado threat, but that area is under a tornado warning, that in effect until 7 p.m. Let's take a look at look at the little wider radar perspective across southern Wisconsin. You can see these cells lifting near the Wisconsin-Illinois state line, but as they head northward, the air is much cooler here. In fact, if I just put the temperatures, you'll see that what I mean. Temperatures right now, Janesville right now, 70 degrees. Madison's at 58, so right around 60 degrees. So as these storms lift northward, they're going to be moving into cooler air. So there really is not much in the way of a severe weather threat, even as far north as Madison. But areas of southern Rock County, that could be a different story. If you are in the southwestern portion of Rock County, make sure you go to the center of your basement. If you don't have a basement, interior room somewhere in the middle part of your house, closet or bathroom, best place to go. Cover yourself with pillows, cushions, blankets to protect yourself in case the building gets hit by a tornado. And if you're in a mobile home and you have time, get out, find a sturdy building nearby, because mobile home, even with a weak tornado, a mobile home is just not a good place to be, at least during a tornado. So again, we're on the air here because of a tornado warning. This is for the southwestern portion of Rock County. This area flashing right here, tornado warning till 7 p.m. The storm itself now right along Highway 81. If we look at let's see if we can get another velocity update. Right here, this would be the wind circulation just south of Highway 81, right along the Wisconsin-Illinois state line, just a few miles west of Beloit. Do a quick scan here, and you can see I would say maybe 8 miles to the west of Beloit. That's where the area that we're watching right now for at least the potential for a tornado, but we're just not seeing a lot of confidence that this storm is going to produce a tornado. But again, our policy is we have a tornado warning. We stay on the air here to keep you advised, because sometimes these storms can intensify. Again, Janesville right now reporting a temperature of 70 degrees. The atmosphere is a little bit more unstable across Rock County. That's why the severe weather concern is a little bit higher there. The tornado warning extends down into northern portions of Winnebago County into northern Illinois, trying to monitor the National Weather Service in Chicago to see whether they're going to keep the warning going. It looks like there's other cells farther to the south and the west, and that might be one reason that they're continuing to keep the warning going, at least at this point. But again, we're going to stay on until that warning goes away. Tornado warning, southwestern portion of Rock County until 7 p.m. Right now, the storm track would take it Just to between Beloit and Janesville, the Southern Wisconsin Regional Airport, a little after 7 o'clock tonight. Storm moving northeastward at about 25 miles per hour. You can see the general trend here. This is turning more into rain and every once in a while a flash of lightning. So there could be some heavy downpours and maybe some small hail and gusty winds with the cell. But right now, again, watching this cell as it pushes back into far southern Wisconsin, we'll take a little closer view here. I'm going to zoom in on that area just to show you the area that's probably most concerned here, and that's going to be right around the town of Newark. So basically along Highway 81 between Newark and Beloit. There's Avon. You can see to the north, Orfordville, Broadhead. They're pretty much to the north and west of the tornado warning area. The tornado warning area along and south of Highway 213 down to the Illinois state line. Could be some small hail in the Newark area there. Let's go ahead. I'm going to just save this here so I can go back and take a look and see what the wind velocity is here. So it looks like a little bit of a change in wind speed and direction. That is right along Highway 81. If I do a quick check of the wind velocity here, you can see the wind velocity negative minus 22 miles an hour. That means the winds are blowing toward the radar, whereas over on the other side here, you can see the wind velocity 21 miles per hour positive. So that's the wind blowing away from the radar. When you see winds plus and minus, that's an indication that there is a wind circulation, but it's not a very strong circulation. The other thing that we have to consider is that the radar is looking at this probably about 40 to 50 miles away from the radar site. It's probably that radar beam is about 4,000 feet off the ground. So while the radar beam is seeing the wind circulation, it's not seeing the wind circulation near the ground. And so because of that, that's why the National Weather Service has to err on the side of safety. They're issuing the tornado warning again for that wind circulation. So we'll go back here to the actual warning. I'm just going to put the information on the screen again. If you're just joining us, we do have a tornado warning that in effect until 7 p.m. and that is for the southwestern portion of Rock County. So west of Beloit, south of Orfordville, right around Newark, and then almost up to the Southern Wisconsin Regional Airport south of Janesville. That area under a tornado warning until 7 p.m. Radar indication, that's the only reason for the warning. Let's see, the National Weather Service just updating about the severe thunderstorm moving northeast at about 25 miles per hour. They're going to continue the warning for the time being, so I apologize again if you're expecting to see entertainment tonight, but we do have a tornado warning in effect until 7 p.m. That is for the southwestern portion of Rock County. Looks like the National Weather Service in Chicago has dropped the tornado warning for Winnebago County, so that's good news. The most intense part of the storm now lifting into far southwestern Wisconsin. If we look at the wind velocity, looks like that circulation is just a little north of Highway 81 now, just to the southwest of Belcrest. But again, it's a very weak circulation. If there is a tornado, it's probably likely to be brief, and again, just something to keep an eye on. But again, right now the National Weather Service continuing with the tornado warning for the southwestern portion of Rock County. That warning in effect until 7 p.m. does cover the area, and I'll just put the information on the screen again so you can see it here. We'll flash that area there. That is the warning area. So southwestern portion of Rock County, tornado warning in effect until 7 p.m. Little wider radar perspective showing the storms and showers, mostly showers, just a little bit of lightning with that cell down in the southwestern portions of Rock County, lifting to the north and northeast at about 25 miles per hour. The severe weather threat, if there is going to be one over the next couple of hours, would be near the Wisconsin-Illinois state line. Farther to the north, you can see temperatures are a little bit cooler. We're not seeing much in the way of, right now, these are our temperatures. You can see Janesville getting up to around 70s. The warm front lifts northward, but elsewhere, temperatures are in the upper 50s and lower 60s. If we take a look at the dew point temperatures, you can also see they are higher farther to the south. The air is much more humid. So this is, these are dew points, and you can see dew points to around 70 in Janesville. That's pretty humid, but notice Madison, 58, and then up farther to the north, those dew points drop off as the temperatures drop off as well. So that's a good sign there. If we look at, I'm going to look at another computer model. This is the 3-hour future track, and you can see how the activity just kind of morphs toward the north. We're not seeing these big, strong thunderstorm developments, and as the precipitation lifts to the north, it's mainly going to be in the form of rain from Madison on toward the north with just a little bit of lightning. But we continue to watch southwestern portions of Rock County. I'll just widen this out a little bit more here for you so you get a little better idea. Tornado warning in effect until 7 p.m. Southwestern Rock County, that's the areas west of Beloit, south and southeast of Orfordville and Footville, and covering the southwestern portion of Rock County along Highway 213 and Highway 81. Those are the areas most at risk right now. But again, we're just not seeing a lot of indication that, I'm going to take a look here. We'll do another quick storm track just to give you a better idea of where this part of the storm is. If there is a tornado, it's going to be right along Highway 81, again, moving to the northeast at about 15 to 20 miles an hour. That brings it to about Afton, and that's even outside of the warning area by about 7:16. If we look at the radar loop, you can see those storms moving. They look like they're moving pretty quickly, but I'm zoomed in on that area there. As far as the wind circulation now, it would be somewhere just to the west of, or just to the east of Newark. I mean, quite honestly, I think we might be able to go back to programming here. I don't see a lot. If there is any kind of a tornado, it's going to be in this area right over here, just to the north of Highway 81. Not seeing anything, at least from weather spotters, as far as any kind of whether the Weather Service is even going to issue warnings ahead of this one. Right now.
Gary, before we go back to regular programming, just monitoring some of the comments from our viewers on Facebook, looking at the path of this storm, you touched on the temperature difference between the Madison area and what they're seeing down around the state line. Will this system do you anticipate it might break apart as it moves north? Yeah,
I'm really not concerned for Madison. If there is any severe weather threat, it is more likely to be down toward the Wisconsin-Illinois state line. Here's a little wider radar perspective. You see these cells coming out of northern Illinois, and that's where the warm front is. Janesville's at 70 degrees, Madison's at 60. Temperatures are in the 50s farther to the north. So these storms will definitely weaken as they push into the cooler air. Problem is, once the storms approach a warm front, that's usually where you have a wind shift. Let me just see if I can put the winds on here. I'm going to stop this here for a second. And so we got the latest radar here, and I'm just going to add the wind here so you get an idea. Notice the wind shift. Winds in the Janesville area and to the south are out of the south, and notice north of that, they're out of the southeast, the east, and even northeast. So this is the area, again, it's right where that warm front is and where you see the wind shift, and that's why the National Weather Service is concerned that there could be a brief tornado spin up out of that area of showers and isolated thunderstorms. But again, right now, we're just not seeing a lot of circulation in the overall area here. If there is circulation, it's now along Highway 213, just to the west of Garden Village, lifting northeastward. So again, if you're in Newark, if you're in Avon, I think you're probably in the clear. If you're down along Highway 81, I think you could expect some heavy downpours, perhaps maybe a little bit of lightning, but the tornado threat is probably in this area right here, right along Highway 213. And I'm not seeing enough in the wind circulation that really has me too concerned about this. I'll do another quick storm track on this to give you a little better idea of where this cell is going. So if we have the tornado right about there and we have the path of the storm like this, so you can see, that would take it to Janesville by about just before 7:20, but the storm has been weakening. We're not seeing the wind circulation there. Looks like, I'm just seeing from the National Weather Service, they're not anticipating to have an additional tornado warning downstream. They probably are going to continue this warning until its expiration, which is 9 minutes from now at 7 p.m. So Let me just check one more thing here, because I think at this point, the threat for a tornado, especially as it lifts northward, they're just not seeing anything. We can come back on the air if we need to, but I think at this point, what I'm going to do is I'm going to throw it back to programming, and if we do need to break in, we're ready to go here. But right now, I think the tornado threat is small enough, even though the warning does continue until the top of the hour. I think we can go back to programming, and we'll come back in if necessary. So again, we'll keep you advised if conditions change.